I don't really work in terms of hope. Hope to me is a rather hopeless word. Hope means that, as against all evidence, you still have hope. People often, base their lives on there's always hope. What I prefer is direct perception. And I have it on that deepest level of direct perception that the future of humankind is very bright. Why do I say so? Well, we only have to look at the progress that's occurred over the last 100 years or so. I mean, we can always make more progress, always. And, though we can find problems and difficulties with the current status in the world for the first time has reduced infant mortality to the lowest levels ever in history. The world has reduced poverty to the lowest levels ever in the history of humanity. There's still a lot to be done, make no mistake. However, we have dramatically reduced poverty in the world today. Disease, I'm saying this in the middle of a global pandemic, but nonetheless is far less of a problem for humanity than ever it was in the past. We have science now to aid us and assist us through all of the trials and tribulations that may have plagued our ancestors. When we look at the changes that have occurred in increased sexual and gender equality, there's a lot yet to be done. But make no mistake, compared to 100 years ago, compared to 1,000 years ago, we are way, way ahead of any place that ever we were. When it comes to the capacity to communicate, to trade between nations and so on, we really have made amazing progress. So let's look at the trend. The trend from the Dark Ages through medieval times, through the Renaissance, through the history of the globalization of the world till now. What we've seen is nothing but progress on almost any scale you wish to talk about. We may have big problems ecologically, environmentally, because of our failure to solve the problem of carbon output at this stage. However, it will be solved. And it will be solved. Why do we say that? Because we as human beings are notorious for being able to pull out every stop whenever we feel collectively that something is bad enough. And we're starting to realize that it's bad enough. I mean, we're the only species on Earth that can actually look at an impending ecological crisis and do something about it. If a Bengal tiger is about to pounce on the last reproducing member of the chital deer species, which is the primary food of that Bengal tiger species, and by killing that one last chital deer, end up causing its entire tiger species to starve to death, what would the tiger do? It would pounce and eat the chital deer anyway, irrespective of it putting into effect a cascade of extinction for the tigers. We humans might be able to look at things and say, wow, if we don't change things, there's going to be big problems. But we're the only species who are capable of doing so. And we're the only ones who are actually able to do anything about it. And I have enormous faith in the full potential of the human brain once again being activated. Our brain, by the way, is made up of somewhere between, above the Adam's apple, between 8 to 10 billion neurons. If we take in the entire central nervous system, 100 billion neurons, which the computing power of which, all put together, has the capacity to solve absolutely anything. But our available brain power has been, in recent centuries, turned into a mechanism for experiencing the ever-repeating known versions of thought. And, we are in that repetition cycle. The thing that gives me the greatest view of the future of humankind is the popularity of Vedic meditation. The fact that people by the thousands are learning Vedic meditation regularly, and there is an increase in the access to not just the direct experience of the true self inside through that direct experience of the underlying field of being, but through that regular practice of meditation for 20 minutes twice a day, removing the stress inside the physiology and seeing the effect of this, the implications of this for education, the implications of it for health, the implications of it for people carrying out creative and productive and non-damaging business with each other, the implications of the growth of consciousness. All of this gives me a direct perception that the future of humanity is very bright. The real question is, how quickly can we access it? It's not a question of, will it happen? There is a dawn happening, an age of enlightenment, as my master called it. It's already happening. You know, when you are making preparations to celebrate the dawn, you do so in the dark. It's dark, but the dawn is on its way. And we can sense that. We can see it in so many different areas. So now is a time not to give up the idea that we're ever going to make things work out. Things are going to be absolutely fabulous, but we can speed up the rate of progress that we've watched over the last few centuries and make everything happen much sooner. And this would be our goal. Let's make it happen in this generation. That would be a fabulous thing to do. A dawn of the age of enlightenment. Jai Gurudev.